In this episode, you'll hear stunning allegations by Johnny Depp about what he discovered in his bed. His relationship with his wife, Amber Heard, was on the skids, and Johnny wanted to collect his possessions from their home. Seeking to avoid another confrontation, he saw his opportunity when Amber departed for the desert of Southern California for the Coachella Music Festival. Amber had left a little surprise on his side of the bed. His housekeeper said that a few hours after Amber left, she made the horrifying discovery. When entering Johnny and Amber's bedroom, she recognized the smelly substance as human waste. When confronted, Amber allegedly blamed it on her Yorkshire Terrier. But as his loyal employee with decades of domestic service, she would have none of it. The feces, she testified in court, were not only fresh, but the large size definitely excluded the pooch. When Johnny Depp saw the evidence for himself in a text, he replied, "Not sure I've laughed that hard for years. At least the photos are hilarious." It was at that point he said he knew their marriage was over. These are the shocking allegations made during the plaintiff's presentation, from defamation to defecation, and this is absolutely criminal. Johnny Depp's $50 million defamation lawsuit against ex-wife Amber Heard is perhaps the most anticipated Hollywood trial since O.J. Simpson embarked in that Bronco. Watching Johnny Depp testify in court feels a bit like seeing your teacher in the grocery store. Not quite comfortable, but hard to look away. The out-of-place experience is uncanny and captivating at once. It shines a light behind the curtain of a harrowing Hollywood relationship with allegations of sex, drugs, and Marilyn Manson. We won't take sides in this episode, but we'll take a seat as we watch the trial unfold. Johnny Depp's attorneys from the major international law firm Brown Rudnick have rested, and they're going to need it. If the defendant's display is anything like Johnny's, they're in for quite a barrage of back and forth between counsel and opponents. If this episode does well, we will present a part 2 after Amber has had the chance to share her side of the story. Just one more warning. For those of you that find my delivery way too slow and overly dramatic, brace yourself and set the playback speed even higher as we present the staccato stylings of Johnny Depp.
About 6 years ago, Miss Heard made some quite heinous and disturbing, brought these disturbing criminal acts against me that were not based in any species of truth.
Johnny's lawsuit is meant to address a 2018 opinion piece penned by his ex-wife. When it was published in the Washington Post in December of that year, he said it ruined his life and career. He contends that Amber made a mockery of the Me Too movement when she faked injuries and blamed them on him. If true, it could cause more people to doubt real victims. According to Johnny's testimony, Amber staged a Smollett-style deception intended to garner sympathy and save face in the wake of her contentious and often petulant parting. Amber contends that Depp was the demon driving the discord in their marriage. She says that she was a regular target for Johnny's wrath. In December of 2015, Amber had what she described as one of the worst and most violent encounters with angry Johnny. She said he slapped her, pulled her hair out in clumps, and repeatedly punched her in the head. Depp counters that during their argument, he was trying to restrain Amber from hitting him when he headbutted her accidentally. According to testimony from a separate lawsuit in the UK, Amber alleged she had bruised ribs, 2 black eyes, a broken nose, and a cut on the inside of her lip. It was alleged the phony injuries were created with stage makeup. Several days into the trial, anticipation began building as Depp's declaration was imminent. The courtroom fell silent as Johnny was called to the stand. The first order of business was to explain why he would bring the lawsuit in the first place. Their dirty laundry was about to be broadcast to the world, and he knew his was at least as filthy as hers. Imagine if the very worst argument with your partner was preserved for posterity. The following recorded rows will likely outdo any domestic dust-up you've ever had.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. It's crazy. Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Depp vehemently rejected the claims that he hurt Amber, and in fact asserted that he was the one being mistreated. He said that even though his name was not mentioned in the accusatory op-ed, it was no stretch to assume she was talking about him. He said that he consequently lost roles in movies because studios were wary to take on the liability of the actor currently most likely to be canceled.
I believe it was, I don't think it took Disney very long, maybe a couple of days, to announce that I had been removed from the Pirates of the Caribbean films franchise.
Johnny said that he needed to clear the record the only way he felt he could. He testified that it took him 6 years of trying times to realize he wanted out. He said he prided himself on the truth.
At the time, because the news of this, her accusations had sort of permeated the industry and then made its way through media and social media, became quite a global, let's say, quote-unquote, fact, if you will. Since I knew that there was no truth to it whatsoever, I felt it my responsibility to stand up not only for myself in that instance, but stand up for my children. My goal is the truth. It killed me that people that I had spoken with, that I had met with over the years, all I could think of was that those people would think that I was a fraud and that I had lied to them.
Depp said that as a child, his mother verbally assaulted the entire family, even physically abusing himself, his sister, and his father. Johnny said that his father never fought back when his mother, Betty Sue, came at him. He testified that is why he put up with the abuse from Amber for so long. He would wander from room to room to escape an escalating argument, often going so far as locking himself in the bathroom or booking another hotel room when a major tiff would transpire on the road. Although the rate of intimate partner violence against women is likely higher than that of battered men, it is hard to estimate exact numbers. Some researchers believe men are less likely to come forward, feeling the social stigma. Depp alleged that Amber faked her injuries and lied about being hit. According to research by Denise Hines, associate professor of social work at George Mason University, this would not be uncommon. She says in cases of female intimate partner violence against men, 56% of their female partners made false accusations against them. Johnny claimed Amber would insult him, taking advantage of her intimate knowledge of his insecurities to really twist the knife. He affirmed the verbal harassment evolved into physical punishment.
Misheard in her frustration and in her rage and her anger, she would strike out. It could begin with a slap. It could begin with a shove. It could begin with, throwing a TV remote at my head. It could be throwing a glass of wine in my face. There was no need for it. There was no need for it. Too many lines were crossed. You couldn't see the lines anymore.
He testified that while filming Pirates of the Caribbean in Australia, an enraged Amber threw a vodka bottle at him, shattering on his hand and severing the tip of his finger. She contended that wound was self-inflicted, and she had the recording to prove it. The evidence didn't seem to quite hit as hard as one of her defense attorneys, Benjamin Rottenborn, had hoped. The exchanges between Amber's lawyer and the actor are fascinating to watch. Depp usually managed to keep under control during Cross, but occasionally he couldn't help but let the sarcasm slip out. We know that feeling. As for Depp, the attitude may not have played well on the stand. He seemed particularly amused by the counselor's surname and used it in his responses at every opportunity.
Good afternoon, Mr. Depp.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rottenborn.
Correct.
That is true, Mr. Rottenborn. Could you say that again, Mr. Rottenborn?
There were times Depp almost seemed in control of the conversation.
This is on the 19th. I believe the 18th.
In 2 years
quite
before...
possibly, was quite possibly, maybe that was the online version that came out first.
2 years before either the online or the print.
I'm sorry, I was just
No,
going to
I think
finish
you
my
answered
answer.
my question, sir. Thank you.
But Rottenborn recovered and confronted Johnny with recordings of his own words. Between more ugly arguments, property damage, and shocking text messages, he had plenty of explaining to do.
This is your last please. This is your last please. This is your last call. Last one. This is not helping! You stupid fuck! This is not helping! I don't fucking care. You shut up with that. Impossible. I'll talk to you later.
Then the defense presented a recording again, initiated by Amber, that was arguably the most disturbing yet. An audibly intoxicated Johnny was armed with a knife and was threatening to slice his hand. During his display, a frantic Amber implored the actor not to harm himself.
Come in wherever you want. Come.
This is really pretty.
Thanks. You want to cut me somewhere?
Do I want to cut you?
Yeah, you want an arm? You want a chest? You want... What do you want the scar? You want... Cut me.
Just don't cut your skin. Please do not cut your skin. Please don't.
Cut me.
Why would I do that?
It's easy. No, thank you. No, thank you. There's sperm on the pillows. Cut me. If you don't, I will. Yeah, you fucking hate me. Come on. Cut me.
Don't.
You tell me.
Please don't do that. Put the knife down. Just put the fucking knife down. Don't. You're gonna hurt yourself. Please
I want to
stop.
look at you.
The recording played right into the hands of the defense, whose argument was that Johnny intentionally cut off the tip of his own finger in Australia. And so the totality of the evidence, according to some experts, seemed to suggest a mutually abusive relationship. But what do you think? Was there a main aggressor of the pair, or did they both bear equal responsibility? Let us know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see a part 2 featuring Amber Heard's side of the story, please hit thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. Now back to our show. There were more text messages displayed by the defense. There were several times that Johnny referred to himself as a monster, or as having a monster deep within him. Depp insisted the monster he was referring to was alcohol. Although the language was colorful, he said there was no real substance or intent.
We talked a little bit about the term monster yesterday, correct?
Yes, I've heard that word quite a lot, yes.
Yeah, and you testified yesterday that you used that term to placate Amber, right? And I believe that you testified that it was the word that she clung to describe what was in her mind, not yours. I wrote down what you said. You remember giving that testimony?
The monster, more than anything, was Ms. Heard's way of referencing whether she perceived that I was on substances or taking substances. So the word monster became, it represented for her the consumption of alcohol or any other substances.
One of your good friends that you've taken drugs with before is Marilyn Manson, right?
Yes, we've taken, we've drank together. We've had cocaine together maybe a couple of times.
A forensic psychologist testified that Amber is afflicted with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. Dr. Shannon Curry reached her conclusion after 12 hours of interviews with the defendant. She went on to say that one diagnosis she did not have was post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. Amber has alleged she suffers from the sometimes debilitating condition.
I also gave her the CAPS-5. I don't know if you'll remember, but that is the clinician-administered PTSD scale consistent with the DSM-5. And on that, there were signs of gross exaggeration. I also looked at the test results that were provided by Dr. Hughes, and on an objective test of trauma, there is a scale specific to intentional exaggeration on that test, and Ms. Heard was in the 98th percentile, meaning that she had engaged in extreme levels of exaggeration.
Although Amber Heard's witness list includes James Franco and Elon Musk, it now appears there will be no testifying for those two. It is hard to imagine what an internet-breaking spectacle that would have been. Back to this reality. At the time of recording, the jury has not yet heard Amber's side of the story. Remember, if you enjoyed this video and want to see a part 2 about Amber, hit the like button. Anytime now. How about now?